James Bond was never real, but the men he was based on were far more dangerous than anything you've seen. Hollywood created a charming hero who saves the whole world while wearing a clean tuxedo and drinking expensive cold martinis. The actual world of secret intelligence did not have handsome gentlemen walking into dangerous rooms without feeling any deep fear. Real spies were dirty manipulators who worked in complete darkness and betrayed their closest friends to survive another difficult day. They did not drive famous luxury cars because real professionals needed to remain invisible and blend perfectly into the crowd. The shocking truth is that the famous fictional character was designed to hide a much darker and more brutal reality. Every single spy mission carried absolute terror, leaving broken minds and shattered lives long after the cold operation had ended. Fiction gave us an elegant killer, but the true historical record shows only desperate people fighting a silent shadow war. You have always believed the beautiful lie, but are you finally prepared to uncover the horrifying facts behind the legend? The story of the ultimate secret agent begins with a man who knew the deadly truth, but why hide it? Fleming was actually a high-ranking intelligence officer who planned extremely dangerous military operations during the Second Global War. He never worked as a lone field agent because his primary job was completely psychological manipulation and massive global deception. Working inside British Naval Intelligence gave him direct access to the most terrifying and ruthless individuals operating in absolute secrecy. He watched brave soldiers die terribly while sitting safely behind a wooden desk located deep inside a protected underground facility. This massive psychological burden caused deep internal guilt that pushed him to create an alternate reality where good always wins. The author carefully took real deadly missions and completely transformed them into highly entertaining adventures for an innocent public audience. Every detail about his famous character came from real files that contained highly classified information about deeply immoral military tactics. Fleming knew exactly how dirty the intelligence game was, and he used his books to wash the blood away completely. If his novels were actually just pure imagination, why did so many real spies recognize their own dark reflections inside? Are the true answers deeply buried within the cold ruins of the greatest conflict humanity has ever known, waiting silently? Largest war in human history served as the dark laboratory where modern espionage techniques were violently created and tested. Millions of innocent lives depended directly upon whether a small group of hidden men could successfully lie to enemy commanders. British forces established an invisible army dedicated entirely to feeding completely false information to opposing dictators across the divided continent. They created fake military divisions, sent fake radio messages, and dressed dead homeless bodies in fake uniforms with fake documents. This grim reality required individuals who possessed absolutely zero moral hesitation about using other people as disposable pieces of meat. Survival did not rely upon shooting weapons accurately, but upon creating an absolute masterpiece of psychological confusion and deep paranoia. Every shadow held a potential threat, and every trusted friend could instantly become an enemy working for the other side. Under these extremely dark conditions, human empathy was considered a fatal weakness that would quickly get an entire team killed. Can you imagine living a life where the truth is entirely forbidden and every spoken word is a dangerous weapon? Did one particular double agent play the violent game so perfectly that he completely inspired the famous global cinematic legend? Popov was a terrifyingly calm double agent who possessed the exact personality traits that define the famous fictional spy. He operated heavily inside grand casinos and easily seduced dangerous women, while constantly manipulating both British and German intelligence agencies. Fleming personally watched him gamble a massive fortune in a single night, just to establish an intimidating psychological dominance completely. However, Popov did not enjoy the glamorous lifestyle because his daily existence was an exhausting exercise in constant severe anxiety. A single wrong word spoken during a casual dinner could lead directly to his immediate torture and violent, painful execution. He memorized complex invisible ink formulas and hid deadly microdots under postage stamps while staying awake for multiple days straight. There were no special explosive pens or laser watches to save him when German officers began investigating his private life. His only weapon was his brain, forcing him to maintain a charming smile while his stomach twisted in absolute terror. If his life was truly filled with such terrifying pressure, why do we continue to romanticize this agonizing mental torture? Popov survived the brutal war, but what horrifying dark secrets did those silent agents leave behind to disturb modern historians? True nature of intelligence work is fundamentally disgusting because it requires normal human beings to abandon their basic morality. Real assassinations were never spectacular events involving exploding helicopters or elegant men delivering clever speeches before firing a silver bullet. Operations were dirty, silent, and deeply pathetic, often ending with a sudden knife thrust in a dark and filthy alley. There was absolutely no heroic background music playing when a young spy was locked alone inside a cold torture cell. Governments recruited regular people and broke their spirits completely, turning them into empty vessels capable of performing unimaginable violent acts. Betrayal became the standard language, and trust was considered a dangerous disease that killed agents faster than any enemy bullet. The public could never be allowed to understand the horrifying methods used to secure the safety of their peaceful nations. Fiction hides the screams of men who died entirely alone, abandoned by the very agencies they had sworn to protect. Does knowing this bitter reality completely destroy the entertaining fantasy that you have enjoyed watching on massive silver movie screens? Did massive intelligence agencies quickly realize that hiding their bloody operations entirely required the creation of a brilliant, perfect myth? The shift from horrible reality to glamorous fiction happened exactly when governments needed citizens to deeply support massive defense budgets. Fleming created his novels during the freezing paranoia of the Cold War, a time when global destruction felt entirely possible. People were terrified of hidden communist threats and nuclear bombs falling directly onto their quiet suburban homes without any warning. They desperately wanted a savior who could confidently protect them from the vast, invisible dangers lurking within the deep shadows. The author took his traumatic wartime memories and systematically stripped away the agonizing fear, the pointless deaths, and the guilt. He built a Superman who never suffered from terrible nightmares after executing another human being in a dark, empty street. This powerful character allowed ordinary people to sleep peacefully, wrongly believing that professional heroes were actively managing the chaotic world. It was a beautiful psychological mechanism designed to manage public anxiety, while secret organizations expanded their terrifying global power endlessly. Have you considered that popular entertainment might be the most effective propaganda tool ever created by modern military intelligence departments? Is the ultimate victory of this grand illusion the fact that you willingly celebrate the system manipulating your daily reality? British government rapidly embraced this fictional hero because their real empire was crumbling terribly after the second massive conflict. They desperately needed a strong symbol to project immense global power, while their actual political influence diminished significantly every year. The famous spy became the ultimate marketing tool, presenting a highly polished image of control, sophistication, and pure moral superiority. In reality, their agents were illegally overthrowing foreign governments, funding brutal rebel groups, and murdering political opponents in developing nations. This extreme violence was entirely hidden behind the handsome face of a beloved cinematic icon wearing a very expensive watch. When ordinary people watched these thrilling movies, they unconsciously forgave the horrific crimes committed by actual state intelligence networks daily. The charm of the fiction effectively paralyzed critical thinking, making the public adore the very institutions that monitored them constantly. It remains one of the most successful psychological operations ever executed against a globally distracted and heavily entertained modern population. Are you beginning to understand how easily a beautifully written lie can completely erase the ugliest chapters of human history? Will you look closely at the dramatic differences between the entertaining myth and the deeply disturbing facts staying hidden forever? Stark contrast between cinematic charm and historical fear reveals the profound emptiness of the popular modern espionage fantasy completely. Fictional agents always maintain absolute control during highly chaotic situations, delivering clever jokes while avoiding deadly bullets with graceful ease. Real field operatives constantly lived on the dangerous edge of severe mental collapse, trusting nobody and expecting death every minute. In the movies, survival is always guaranteed by superior physical strength and incredibly advanced technological gadgets provided by smart scientists. In actual history, survival was mostly determined by blind luck, ugly betrayals, and the willingness to completely abandon your humanity. The glamorous villain with a massive secret base is a childish dream designed to simplify the complex nature of evil. True evil operates quietly inside boring government offices, wearing cheap gray suits and signing ordinary paperwork that authorizes mass murder. We prefer the exciting fantasy because confronting the terrifying banality of real systemic violence would shatter our fragile psychological peace. Will you ever watch another thrilling spy film without recognizing the dark blood cleverly hidden beneath the shiny cinematic surface? Does this psychological realization lead us toward a terrifying philosophical question that directly threatens the fundamental core of perceived reality? What if the story was not meant to entertain you, but to control exactly how you perceive the absolute truth? Our entire modern society is constructed upon carefully manufactured myths designed to protect powerful institutions from deep public moral anger. If you believe that spies are elegant heroes, you will never question the massive budgets hiding their dark, illegal operations. We have been culturally conditioned to applaud the very shadows that secretly manipulate our political systems and destroy innocent lives. The grand illusion is completely flawless because it makes you feel deeply sophisticated while keeping you entirely blind and ignorant. You consume this elegant fiction enthusiastically, completely unaware that it acts as a mental prison for your own critical awareness. This level of mass manipulation requires an intelligence far more terrifying than any fictional villain plotting to conquer the world. History is written by the powerful victors, but it is effectively sold to the masses through highly profitable Hollywood entertainment. Can you firmly distinguish between your own independent thoughts and the sophisticated propaganda planted deeply inside your distracted modern mind? Has the ultimate deception already been completed successfully, leading us directly toward the most terrifying final realization of this journey? Legendary spy named James Bond never actually existed, but the massive secretive system that created him still heavily operates. While you eagerly watch thrilling movies, unseen intelligence agencies continue to brutally manipulate foreign governments and execute entirely illegal missions. They silently destroy human lives without experiencing any emotional guilt, securely hidden behind a massive wall of popular cinematic entertainment. Ian Fleming took his profound wartime trauma and brilliantly weaponized it to permanently alter global historical perception for future generations. The elegant tuxedo, the fast cars, and the cold martinis were nothing more than a colorful blanket covering ugly corpses. Every single time you cheer for the handsome fictional killer, you are silently validating the darkest elements of human nature. The truth is far colder and deeply unforgiving, offering absolutely no glamorous escapes or satisfying musical endings for real victims. This grand psychological illusion will effectively continue working perfectly as long as people remain terrified of confronting the dark reality. Will you finally wake up from this comfortable dream, or will you blindly choose to remain inside the entertaining simulation? James Bond did not exist, but does the ruthless system behind him still secretly watch you every single ordinary day?